So welcome to the Enneagram Type 2, and we're going to give you the basic information of this type. As we've said before through these videos and our face-to-face workshops, we go into detail about how the subtypes interact with the Enneatypes to make very distinct looking Type 2s. And we also go into detail about the gateways, how each type has its own pathway to become more expansive, more liberated. And we also talk and help you feel the energetics of each type in our face-to-face. So this is the basics, but there is so much more to each type, and we really invite you all to explore the Enneagram more deeply than what we're teaching in these videos. These videos are just the basic information so that you can take it deeper. So, that said, we're talking about the 2.
So we are talking about the 2.
Yeah.
And the 2 is a heart point, which means that it receives information through their heart and projects through their heart. They express and they receive through the heart area. Doesn't mean they're more heartful than other people, but it does mean that that's where they receive and project energy. It's an outward moving pattern. And so when we're teaching, I always ask, so let's all dip down and put your attention in your heart area. And just put it there and feel that energy and imagine or sense that it is just exuding outward. And it fills the room and it fills your city and the world and the universe. It just spreads out boundlessly. And in a way it holds. It's kind of a holding heart energy.
So one thing that we talk a lot about in our workshops is this continuum, this spectrum that each type has, qualities along this spectrum: tight, fixated, more contracted, open, free, more liberated, much more subtle energetics. Okay, the 2 is a really perfect example of the way that we are born open, expanded, and they're all perfect examples, but this one is really clear: open, expanded, and through stress and trauma, the patterning begins to become more tight, more contracted, and the experience is less free and liberated, and it's more dense. Okay, whereas one end is more subtle, one end is more dense and gross. So what happens is the essence of each type, the more natural state of each type, the more subtle qualities of each type become either and or both imitated or sought after. Okay. The essence of the 2 Enneatype is compassion. Okay, this is a compassion that she spoke a little bit about, how it has a holding kind of quality to it. It's a heartfulness, but this kind of embracing quality to it. When it's open and expanded, this is beautiful and it feels really free. When it went through life, stress, trauma, it becomes more contracted. They seek and they imitate the essence. The essence becomes a blind spot to them. So they seek and they imitate the essence of compassion. And so they want to be helpful and altruistic and seen as nice, helpful people, seen as compassionate people. There's a trick to this. There's an underbelly to this, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. But so that's how it's like they're seeking the image and the experience of being compassionate, and they're imitating it. Okay.
Yeah.
So when they're born, little 2s, the open expansiveness becomes more contracted, and they generally have early childhood experiences of being helpful. One of the parents, little helper, they have a special relationship usually with particularly one parent, sometimes with both, but particularly one parent. Sometimes it's the opposite sex. You'll hear that a lot. daddy's little girl or mommy's little boy, but actually I've seen enough of it with the same-sex parent that to me it's one parent. Special relationship with a parent, very, very helpful. What do you need? Let me help you around the house. This extends into school environment, community environments, teacher's little pet, doing good to be liked and loved, cute, helpful, taking on the qualities of the person in their life, the adult person in their life, what they want them to be. Do they want me to be successful in this way or that way, or smart, or beautiful, or good at something?
Yeah.
So this goes into adulthood.
Yeah, so this does go into adulthood, and so it's a hard point, as we're saying, and what Tammy's talking about, image. All the hard points have to have a relationship with image. They're concerned about how people see them. So this particular type wants to be seen as helpful and good and nice and loving. So they try to wear that image. They also have a strong connection to shame, so they feel a lot of shame. So moving into adulthood, let me go back a little bit, because this special relationship with one parent usually makes a difficult relationship with the other, which makes a triangle. They have a special relationship with one, the other parent may feel a little jealous of that relationship, and there's something difficult. There's a triangle, and that kind of often carries forward into their adult life, where there's two friends and they want to be liked by both, and they try to please both, and they have a stronger one with one, and the other one feels bad. Or it's in romantic relationships. It's or it's in the work environment. There's often a triangle forms, so that's hard. Part of this whole process of trying to be nice and giving and good is that they don't want to have any needs. They want to know what your needs are and please you, and they will really believe that I know what your needs are and I know how to give them to you. And when you accept what I give you, my help to you, then you have said, yes, I needed that. You were right. I really needed it, and now I store that as a 2 and say, oh, well, then I'm always going to give her that. I'm going to give her more of that. I'm going to see what else she needs. Now, the underbelly that Tammy talked about is, I'm reading you and I'm giving you everything you need. And I don't have any needs, but this is kind of how I'm trying to get my needs that I don't have met, is by a modeling. I'm watching you and I see what your needs are and I'm giving you what you need. You're supposed to do that for me. You're supposed to watch me and see what I need. I'm also giving you hints that if I keep making you dinner, I would like you to make me dinner. I'm not going to ask for it, but it should be so obvious that you could read my mind and know what I want. And when you don't, then the underbelly is anger. It's resentment. Sometimes it comes out as an energetic force that isn't expressed outwardly, and sometimes it comes out as rage. That is absolutely expressed outwardly and very directly once it starts getting expressed. But the person is kind of shocked because this is a really nice person who doesn't need anything. She's there to serve me. And now all of a sudden, she's whacking me in the head with all this anger. It doesn't feel good. So I guess that's a good amount of that.
Yeah, so to be really clear about it, what we're speaking, so this is when this pattern is more contracted and fixated. And so what happens with the compassion, the essence, is that it has this stickiness to it. It has an underlying manipulation. I am taking care of all of your needs and hope that you will someday take care of my needs, which is tricky because they also have this secret pride of not having any
Right,
needs.
Exactly.
So they have this sense of being above needs, better than needs, and a sense of, and a secret even to themselves that they're doing nice things for people to try to get something back from them, to get their needs met, ultimately to get love from them. So it's sticky and it comes.
It's really sticky,
comes
and
out.
it's a secret to them too. They don't really know until they do some work on themselves that they're manipulating.
Yeah.
You know, they really truly don't understand that they do have needs.
Right. And they often don't know or even realize that they're angry, that they have this
Right.
this
Right.
anger about
Right.
the whole thing.
Yes, and I have seen as well that even people with this pattern that do show their rage occasionally, somehow or other gets buried. It's thought of, it's rationalized as, that I'm not usually like that. That was like some weird thing that happened. I don't do that. So like, oh, now it's gone, you know? So,
And some of this also it is really well understood when you start to learn about the movement of the Enneagram.
yes.
Which is something that we teach a lot more about in person. We'll have a video. We have a video that it explains what movement is, the lines of the Enneagram. But when the 2 moves to 8 and to 4, this explains some of that as well. The subtypes are really important for like with all the types. They make the 2s look really different.
Very different, yes.
And the wings are important as well. So we'll do more of that in person. But we'll walk you through a little bit of the energetics.
Yes,
of what this pattern looks like.
Let's do that.
So, as we start to embody the energy of it,
So it's a little tricky here because I have this pattern.
that's true.
And so what you've been seeing to some extent is the pattern.
Yeah.
So I will change it a little bit as we go. But you might see, because Tammy doesn't have this
Well, I
pattern.
don't have it, so I'll walk you
Yeah.
into how I start to feel into it,
Right.
especially if you
That's
don't
really
have
good.
it.
Mhm.
I become more aware of my heart area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a perkiness,
Yeah.
almost like a little pressure in my heart.
I think that you could see
right?
the perkiness.
There's a
already.
perkiness.
Yes. Mhm.
There's also, in knowing the nuances of it, there's a neediness about this heart energy. It looks a little bit like anxiety, but it's a kind of a needy, almost desperate kind of energy.
Yes.
It's like I need
Yes.
you to like me and
Like-
see me. And
Mhm.
there's something with the eyes, they
That's
kind of
right.
twinkle and they
They
kind of
do.
see into.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
something
because
about
we
personal
didn't-
space.
We didn't talk about that. We might as well do it now.
Yeah, we could talk about it.
So with my heart energy,
Mhm.
and this is something that we don't really notice. We don't really realize until we've
The
looked at it a
2
lot.
person with the
Twos.
2 pattern doesn't
Yeah.
notice it.
But I will project my energy into you and feel around inside you to see, how are you?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I see a little tiny bit of sadness in your
I
eyes.
don't think I'm feeling sad.
No?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, because I could, I could like, I don't know, I could
No.
give you a little massage or something.
Oh yeah,
Would
no,
you
I'm
like
okay.
that?
I mean,
Yeah,
if
you
I
are?
didn't,
Okay.
some types feel a little intruded upon energetically.
I have some essence that is perfect for helping you with your mood.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very helpful. So we see
Yeah.
the talking style comes out in this
That's
helpfulness.
true.
Another thing is a kind of flattery. Oh my God, I love these earrings.
Oh, yeah,
and
thank
did
you.
you
Oh,
cut your hair?
I
love it
did.
so much.
Thank
Wow.
you.
And
Thank
is
you.
that a new color lipstick? It looks great on you.
Oh, thank you. I was
Yeah.
hoping that you would notice
Yeah,
that, and
yeah,
you
I
did.
Of course I noticed it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Thank you so
There's
much.
a lot of smiley,
Yes.
but there's this kind of heartfulness.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
And-
hi.
yeah.
And there can be touching, and,
Yes.
and they're perky and cute.
Yes. So that's what that is.
Yeah.
And if you see other demonstrations that we'll do, you'll see that it's very different than this.
You will, you'll see
Yeah.
the difference.
Yeah.
I had one more thing to say about it. That the subtypes. So we kind of did a blend of what the subtypes
We
look
did.
like, but they do look. There's a perky heartfulness about all the
All of
twos,
them, yeah.
but the subtypes take on
Right.
a very different quality. So
Yeah.
when we meet in person,
Mhm.
we can help you feel into that, and then go into the nuances of
That's
subtypes
right.
and all the
Yeah.
deeper, juicy
Yeah.
stuff about the Enneagram.
So I think we should end with that expanded energy again.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So, take a breath and let the energy move to your heart. Breathe into it and feel like a warm softness in your heart area, and then allow it to expand out so it's boundless. It's boundless. It fills the universe and then holds it.
So with the 2 pattern, this outward moving energy, just working with the energetic, not the details of it, there's a need to pull the energy back in. There's energy is too much is being given away. So there's a pulling it back in. So what she just walked us through is pulling in and then it's out. So it's home. It's grounded at home. And then it moves out and expands.
Lovely.
When it's contracted or more fixated, it's leaving and it's not grounded at home.
That's right.
So it's in and then it moves out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See you next time.
Yes.